Life doesn't punish you loudly when you ignore what matters. It punishes you silently. Not with pain, but with wasted potential. Not with loss, but with the slow erosion of self-respect every time you delay what's important. Every time you say later, and you teach your brain that comfort is more valuable than purpose. And that is how greatness dies, not with failure, but with distraction. Most people live like professional avoiders. They fill their days with noise, tasks, errands, everything, except the one thing that could change their life. They're not lazy. They're unfocused. They're addicted to what's easy, not what's essential. But let me tell you something Napoleon Hill discovered a century ago, and it's as true now as it was then. Every successful man must learn to force himself to do what he should do when he doesn't feel like doing it. You see, discipline isn't punishment. It's protection. It protects your dreams from your moods, from your destiny, from your excuses, your greatness from your comfort. And here's the truth. You will never feel ready to do the important things. You will never wake up one morning magically motivated. You have to move first. Action creates emotion, not the other way around. So this isn't just a message about working harder. It's about working smarter, clearer, and truer to your purpose. Because when you force yourself to do what's important only, you stop wasting time on noise and start building a life that actually means something. In this journey, you'll learn how to break the invisible habit of avoidance, how to focus on what moves your life forward, and how to command your energy like a general directing an army. This is not a speech about motivation. This is a training for your mind. Because the man who controls what he focuses on controls everything else that follows. You will feel resistance. Your brain will scream for comfort. But beyond that moment lies freedom. The freedom to know that you did what mattered today, that you didn't waste another sunrise, that you are building something worthy of your name. So take a breath, center your mind, and get ready to learn how to do the hardest yet most rewarding thing in life, to force yourself to do what truly matters. Every time you avoid what matters, something in you becomes weaker. You may not see it in the mirror today. You may not feel it immediately. But deep down, something quiet inside you begins to decay. It's not failure that destroys people. It's avoidance. Failure teaches. Avoidance erases. Avoidance doesn't just waste time. It eats your confidence, your discipline, your self-trust. You start to feel restless, anxious, unsatisfied, and you don't even know why. That's the silent punishment of avoidance. You scroll your phone, check your messages, reorganize your desk, anything to escape the one thing you should be doing. And at the end of the day, you tell yourself, I was busy, but deep down you know, you weren't productive, you were hiding. The mind is clever. It will invent 1,000 ways to avoid discomfort, even when that discomfort is the door to your next level. It whispers, you can do it later, maybe after a break. Let's wait until you're in the mood. But later never comes. And waiting for the right mood is like waiting for the wind to build your house. Avoidance feels safe because it protects you from the short-term pain of effort, but it steals your long-term peace of mind. Every time you postpone something meaningful, you send your brain a message, this is too hard for me. And your brain believes it. So the next time you face the same challenge, the resistance grows stronger. You're training yourself to hesitate, to surrender before the battle even begins. Napoleon Hill warned about this in Outwitting the Devil. He called it drifting, the state of mind where a person avoids decisions, avoids purpose, and lets the world decide their fate. Hill said, "The drifter takes the path of least resistance, but resistance is where the power is built. When you drift long enough, you begin to lose respect for yourself, and that's the real cost. Not lost time, but lost identity, because nothing kills a man's spirit faster than knowing what he should do and still not doing it. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Every act of avoidance compounds into self-doubt. Every act of action compounds into self-respect. When you do what's important, even when it's uncomfortable, your brain learns a new story. I do hard things. I can trust myself. That story is priceless. It's the foundation of confidence, of leadership, of mastery. People think motivation builds confidence, but it's not motivation, it's execution. Every time you follow through, you teach your mind that your word means something. That's how mental strength is forged, not by talking, but by doing. Avoidance isn't laziness. It's fear wearing a mask, fear of failure, fear of imperfection, fear of judgment. But here's the irony: by avoiding the thing that scares you, you make it scarier. Action shrinks fear. Inaction feeds it. There's a simple law of the mind. Whatever you avoid, you give power to. Think about that. If you avoid the conversation, it grows heavier. If you avoid the task, it feels bigger. If you avoid your purpose, life feels emptier. But the moment you act even imperfectly, the weight lifts. Clarity replaces anxiety. Momentum replaces guilt. Because the brain was never built for avoidance. It was built for progress. If you've ever wondered why you feel stuck, why you feel like something inside you is quietly pulling you backward, look not at what you're doing, but at what you're avoiding. You can't escape the work that matters. You can delay it, but it waits for you, and the longer you avoid it, the louder the guilt becomes. So here's the truth: avoidance doesn't protect your peace, it poisons it. Every later is a silent promise broken. Every excuse is a quiet act of self-betrayal. The solution isn't more motivation, it's more movement. You don't need to feel ready to act. You act to become ready, and every step you take, no matter how small, is a declaration: I am done running from what matters. The world makes way, Hill wrote, for the man who knows where he is going and refuses to stop. Stop drifting. Stop waiting. Stop pretending you have more time. Because the cost of avoidance is your life paid in small, quiet installments. And the only way to stop paying is to start doing what truly matters. Your mind is a master negotiator. It will always try to talk you out of what's hard. It will whisper 1,000 logical excuses. You're tired? You've done enough. You can start tomorrow. And if you listen long enough, it will win. That's why success never comes to the most intelligent. It comes to the most decisive, to the ones who act even when they don't feel like it. Napoleon Hill said it best: you cannot think your way into discipline. You must act your way into it. You see, your emotions are followers, not leaders. But most people spend their lives waiting to feel right before they act right. They wait for motivation before moving, and that's why they never move. Motivation is the reward, not the requirement. You earn it after you act, not before. Action comes first. Emotion catches up. When you force your body to move, your mind begins to obey. That's how you reprogram the brain. You teach it that motion overrides emotion. You don't need to feel inspired to take action. You need to act to feel inspired. Think of it like this. A rocket doesn't lift off because it feels ready. It lifts off because it ignites, and once it's in motion, the energy builds by itself. That's how discipline works. You light the spark, then the fire sustains itself. But here's the trick. Your mind will resist at first. It will scream, complain, find distractions. It will tell you that you're not in the mood, that the timing isn't right. That's your comfort zone, fighting for survival. Understand this. Your comfort zone isn't a location. It's a mental prison. It's every story your brain tells you to justify staying average. The only way out is to act before your brain catches up. That's why the greatest warriors, entrepreneurs, and creators have one rule: I move before I feel like it. They don't ask, do I want to? They ask, is it necessary? If it's necessary, they move, period. Because when you start acting on what's necessary instead of what's comfortable, your whole life changes trajectory. Most people overthink themselves into inaction. They analyze until every option feels wrong. Every path looks risky. And every choice seems impossible. But the truth is simple. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. You can't think your way into progress. You can only move your way into it. The mind learns through experience, not imagination. So the fastest way to build clarity is to take one small action now. Write the email, make the call, go for the run, start the page, begin. Once motion begins, hesitation dies, and once hesitation dies, momentum is born. Here's something most people never realize. Your mind doesn't hate work, it hates starting. The hardest part of any task isn't doing it, it's beginning it. But once you begin, your resistance fades. You fall into rhythm. Your focus sharpens. Your energy rises. It's as if the universe rewards those who take the first step. Hill called this definiteness of decision. The ability to say I will instead of I might, because I will has power. It cuts off hesitation, kills excuses, and commands action. Every time you act despite resistance, you strengthen that muscle. You make it easier next time, and eventually it becomes automatic. Your brain learns that hesitation is no longer your habit. Think of your mind as a wild horse. It doesn't become obedient through words. It becomes obedient through consistent direction. You train it, guide it, and keep it moving forward until one day it moves with you, not against you. And that's when life changes. You stop needing motivation. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You stop being a prisoner of feelings. You act because it's who you are. That's the shift from struggle to power. A man who acts in spite of fear, Hill wrote, develops courage. A man who acts in spite of doubt develops faith. You can't think your way into faith. You earn it through motion. So the next time your brain says, not now, remember that's your cue to begin. Not later. Not when you feel better. No, because the moment you move, you win. And when you force your mind to move anyway, you stop being controlled by comfort and start commanding your destiny. Before you can earn respect from the world, you must first earn it from yourself. And self-respect isn't built through words, wishes, or intentions. It's built through action. Every time you follow through on what you said you'd do, every time you choose effort over excuse, you lay another brick in the foundation of your self-respect. And when that foundation becomes solid, you stop chasing validation from others because you've already proven yourself to yourself. Most people think self-confidence is a gift. It's not. It's a debt you repay to yourself through action. You lose confidence when you break promises to yourself. When you say, I'll start tomorrow, and you don't. When you say, I'll stay consistent, and then drift. Each broken promise chips away at the respect you have for the person in the mirror. That's why so many feel lost, anxious, and